Well now, I wonder if you've ever noticed something rather peculiar about yourself. Something you might try not to look at too closely, like a strange mark on the wall you prefer to ignore. It's this: you are almost constantly running. Oh, not always on your feet, though sometimes that too. No, I mean a running inside. A psychological flight. You wake up in the morning, and before you've even tasted the coffee, you're off, running through the day's appointments, running from a conversation you had yesterday, running towards a goal that's always just over there. Tomorrow, next year, when I finally get there. And if you were to stop, just for a moment, and feel into this running, what is it you're running from? It's yourself, isn't it? Or rather, it's a feeling, a sensation in the pit of your stomach, a tightness in the chest, a faint, high-pitched hum in the background of your mind. We have a word for it, a clinical, heavy word: anxiety. And my goodness, we will do anything to get away from it. We'll go to doctors for pills. We'll read books by the dozen. We'll chant affirmations in the mirror. I am calm. I am confident. I am at peace. We'll put on a brave face for our friends, for our family, for ourselves. We imagine that one day, after we've run fast enough and far enough, we'll finally arrive at a magical place where this feeling doesn't exist. We call this place happiness, or success, or peace of mind. We think it's a destination. But what if I were to tell you that the very act of running away from this feeling is the very thing that makes it chase you? What if the cure you're searching for so frantically is the one thing you are trying your hardest to avoid? What if the medicine tastes not like bitter poison, but like nothing at all, like simply stopping? The cure for anxiety, you see, is not what you think it is. It's a colossal joke, a cosmic giggle at your expense. And the punchline is this: you are what you're seeking. So, let's begin, shall we, with the very instrument that causes us all this delightful trouble, the human mind. Now, don't misunderstand me. The mind is a truly marvelous thing, an evolutionary masterpiece. It is in its essence a troubleshooter, a problem-solving machine, a magnificent biological computer whose primary function is to scan the environment and ask in a very earnest voice, now then, what could possibly go wrong here? And for a long, long time, this was an absolutely splendid trick for survival. Our ancestor, let's call him Og, is walking through the tall grass. The troubleshooter mind whispers, "Psst, Og, a rustle in the grass. Could be a lion. Let's have a little shot of adrenaline, shall we? Just to be safe." And Og runs, and Og lives. The mind notices the gathering storm clouds, the suspicious-looking berry, the rival from the next cave. It rings a little bell of warning. We call that warning fear or anxiety, and it keeps us alive. It's a brilliant servant. But now, here's the problem. Og doesn't live in the tall grass anymore. He lives in a high-rise apartment. He doesn't worry about lions. He worries about his stock portfolio. He doesn't worry about a bad berry. He worries about people talking behind his back. And his troubleshooter mind, well, it's gotten rather out of hand. It's like a radar dish that was designed to spot ships on the horizon. But it's become so powerful, so sensitive, that it's now picking up static from distant galaxies. It's worrying about things that aren't there. It's worrying about what might happen in a meeting next Thursday. It's worrying about a slight, an imagined slight, from 6 years ago. It's worrying about the meaning of life at 3 o'clock in the morning, when you desperately need to sleep. This troubleshooter is constantly on, scanning, scanning, scanning. And we, in our modern culture, have made a fatal error. We have come to identify with this troubleshooter. We think that's who we are. We point to our head and say, "This is me. I am the thinker of these thoughts." We believe that the frantic, chattering voice in our skull is the pilot of the ship, the captain, the real you. But let me ask you this. What happens when you identify yourself with the part of your being whose entire raison d'etre is to worry, whose very job description is to look for problems? Why, you are defining your fundamental identity as being in a perpetual state of anxiety. You are saying, "I am a problem finder." And if you are a problem finder, what must you always have? Problems. You need them to confirm your existence. And so you see, you create a perfect vicious circle, a feedback loop of exquisite absurdity. It goes like this. You feel anxious, a vague unease, the troubleshooter, which you think is you, kicks in. Aha, it says. A problem, anxiety, this is no good, we must fix this. So you try to fix it. You try to think positive thoughts. You try to meditate it away. You try to analyze it, to find its root cause in your childhood. But wait, what are you doing? You are using the troubleshooter, the problem-finding mind, to solve the problem of the problem-finding mind being too active. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. The very effort to fix the anxiety is itself an anxious act. You're anxious about being anxious. You're worried about your worry. You are trying to grab hold of your own coat collar and lift yourself off the ground. It's a magnificent and hilarious spectacle. You spin around and around, and your feet never leave the floor. It's just not going to work. The instrument you are using is the wrong tool for the job. The mind cannot grasp itself. There's a famous saying in Zen that I've always loved. Trying to define yourself is like trying to bite your own teeth. Have you ever tried it? It's an impossibility. The biter and the bitten are the same. The eye cannot see itself directly. It sees everything else. The mind, in its frantic attempt to grasp its own nature, to fix itself, only creates more turbulence. It's like a pool of water. Have you ever come across a pond that is all muddy and churned up? How do you clear it? Do you get in there with a big stick and stir it faster? Do you send in a submarine to try and filter it? No, of course not. That would be madness. You leave it alone. You let it be. You allow the mud to settle, all by itself in its own good time. And as it settles, the water becomes clear, and you can see all the way to the bottom. But we are not like that with our minds, are we? We are always in a rush. We are always grabbing at the water with our thoughts, stirring it up, trying to fix its muddiness. I shouldn't be so muddy. I need to be clear water. But the command to be clear is just another handful of mud. We are trying to fix ourselves, and the very effort of fixing is the thing that keeps us perpetually muddled. We've been sold a story, a grand and terrible myth. The story is that life is a journey to a place called security. We are all pilgrims on the road to the celestial city of safety. We are taught from a very young age that the goal is to build a fortress of money, of status, of relationships, of beliefs. We want a guaranteed future. We want to know that everything is going to be okay, permanently. Finally, this desire, this deep-seated craving for security is the very root of our anxiety. Because we are building our sandcastles on the shore of the ocean, and we are demanding that the tide never come in. But the universe, my dear friends, is not a fixed thing. It is not a still photograph. It is a constant, flowing, wiggly river. I often call it a wiggly world. Look at it. The clouds are not cubes. The mountains are not pyramids. The trees are not telephone poles. Everything is in a state of flow. Everything is vibrating, changing, dying, and being born. Your own body is a stream. You are not the same collection of atoms you were 7 years ago. You are a process like a flame or a whirlpool. You are a pattern that maintains itself for a while, but it is a flowing pattern. Now, the more you try to build a permanent, stable structure in the middle of this river, the more frantic you will become. You build a beautiful little sandcastle. Let's call it My Successful Career. You pat it down, you put flags on it, and then you see the river lapping at the edges, a company restructuring, a new technology, a change in the market, and you panic. You run around building moats and walls, trying to hold back the water. But the water is the reality. You are resisting the fundamental nature of things. You are, in a sense, at war with life itself. I've often said, the desire for security and the fear of insecurity are the same thing. Think about that very carefully. To want to be secure is to be acutely aware that you are not secure. It's a confession of insecurity. It's like holding your breath. You only hold your breath when you're afraid there's no air to breathe. But the air is all around you. The effort to be secure is an insecure act. It's a tension, a contraction. You build a fort to feel safe. But in building the fort, what have you done? You have acknowledged that you feel unsafe. And now you have a new problem. You have to worry about the fort. Is the wall strong enough? Is there a crack? Are there enemies at the gate? The more you build, the more you have to defend. The more you have to lose. The more you have to worry about. The whole of civilized life, in many ways, is this marvelous, elaborate, breath-holding contest. Everyone is running around, cheeks puffed out, faces turning blue, taut as a drum, thinking, if I can just hold on a little longer, I'll be safe. But you'll suffocate. What would happen if you just let the breath out? What would happen if you simply admitted openly and honestly that there is no such thing as security? That insecurity is not a problem to be solved, but the very nature of existence. The problem isn't the wiggly, flowing, changing nature of the world. The problem is our ridiculous, steadfast, stubborn expectation that it should be otherwise. The problem is our demand for a photograph when we are living in a movie. When we fall in love with the idea of a certain predictable future, we are setting ourselves up for a profound and continuous disappointment. The future, you see, is a ghost, a concept. It does not exist. There is only ever now, this moment. And when we live for a future where all our anxieties are solved, we are chasing a will-o'-the-wisp, a phantom light that dances over the marsh, always receding just as we approach. We say, I'll be happy when I get the promotion. You get the promotion, and for a moment there's a flash of pleasure. But then the mind immediately moves the goalposts. All right, now I'll really be happy when I get the corner office. And on it goes, until the future. And ourselves vanish into the abyss of death, having never truly lived, because we were always preparing to live later. And what a great crashing relief it is to realize that you don't have to carry this burden. You don't have to build the perfect fortress. You don't have to ensure the outcome.